Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Charlie's Cruise Tips and Reviews. If you like this video, please like and share it and subscribe to my channel. As some of you have seen one of my previous videos, tips for first-time cruisers, thought about reincarnating that video, but I decided instead to do this video first time with cruising with Carnival Cruise Lines, and later on I will do another video for first time cruising with Norwegian Cruise Lines because there's always a first time for cruising one way or the other. Either is your first time ever going on a cruise, or it is your first time cruising with another cruise line that you have not cruised with before. So while you may think some cruise lines do everything the same, it that's just not really true. Each cruise line does things differently, and you should be prepared to understand what, or not understand, but should be prepared for how each cruise lines do things different. So that's what this video is all about. Um, Here we go. The first thing you need to know about cruising with Carnival is when you do finally do get your cruise booked and everything, and you're done with your online check-in, it will give you a check-in time appointment for when you can show up and check in at the port. Now, well, other cruise lines, you might be accustomed to showing up at the port the morning of the cruise at around 8:39, 10 o'clock in the morning when they first start checking and checking in right away, being in the first boarding group after priority boarding, and then getting right on board. But Carnival, that is not the case because they go strictly by the check-in time appointment unless you're diamond, platinum, or have faster to the fun pass. They still get priority check in their own check-in area and they get the priority boarding. However, if you do not fall into one of these categories, you'll be assigned a check-in time appointment. Now, if you show up earlier before your scheduled appointment, you will have to wait outside the terminal until your check-in appointment time to actually check in. So keep that in mind if on your first time cruising with Carnival, is do not show up to the port too early, because if you arrive before your check-in time, you're not going to be allowed to check in at all. Okay, another thing you should need to know for your first time cruising with Carnival Cruise Lines is the traditional seating. Now, Carnival does indeed offer the anytime dining. They use one of their main dining rooms on each ship for that. But the thing is, with that, keep in mind that there could be a few nights on board on that cruise you may have to wait for a table, specifically if which you can on the first night of the cruise with the maitre d' request the same wait staff, the same table, the same wait staff every night at the anytime dining. You can do that, and they do that, but understand if you choose this option, there could be a few nights you are waiting for a table for dinner because your particular waiter you requested or the table you'd like to be sitting at could be busy, and you're just gonna have to wait because there's no actual seated dinner time like in the main dining room, where there's the early dinner seating and there's the late dinner seating where everyone gets into the dining room at the same time and it just goes at the pace of dinner. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. That's why when I cruise on Carnival, I prefer the late dinner seating because you can plan your day around it better. There's a set dinner time. It's not the anytime dinner, which begins at 5 o'clock and goes around, I believe, 9:30, around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm not exactly sure what time it ends because I have never done it before. But within that time, that's when the anytime dinner is. But there are certain times when it'll be busier than other times because a lot of people all like to eat dinner at the same time. So keep that in mind when you cruise on Carnival. If you choose any time dining option, you could be waiting a little bit longer than you would like for dinner that night, because if it is a full ship and a good number of people opt for any time dining, you could have a little bit of a wait. Another thing on Carnival is there are two elegant nights on cruises 7 days or longer. Now, unlike NCL where it's come as you are, it's they're not that strict even on their one elegant night, what they call the Norwegian night out. On Carnival with the two elegant nights, you pretty much do have to dress up to get into the main dining room. Like on those nights, they are pretty strict with that. They don't want to see people with t-shirts. They don't want to see people with jeans, sneakers. On those nights, you do pretty much have to dress up. So if you're someone who doesn't like to dress up and you're cruising on Carnival, that would be the best night to most likely go to the Lido buffet for dinner that night, because otherwise they're not going to let you in the dining room if you don't bring if you're not dressed appropriately for that. They really do want you dressed up for that. Now, as far as the dress code for the Elegant Nights on Carnival, it's pretty much cocktail attire. So if you're going to a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a sweet 16 party, any one of those, keep that in mind. You'll dress for the Elegant Nights like you would dress for one of those. For the gentlemen, suits are fine. You don't need to wear a tuxedo. I mean, you do see people in black tie on these Elegant Nights and tuxedos, but it's not mandatory. A suit and tie is fine. I wear a suit and tie on the Elegant Nights on Carnival. Ladies, it's pretty much a cocktail attire for you. Any type of dresses, it's good. It is pretty much all dresses are fine. It's as I said, cocktail attire, something you would wear to a wedding, bar mitzvah, or sweet 16. As far now, the next thing you should know about Carnival is when it comes to Showtime and their entertainment options. Carnival has plenty of entertainment options on board, but it depends what you like. Because Showtime is a different show every night in the auditorium in the theater. One night they'll have a different performance. Any night, some night different musical performances, dance performances, all different types. Ver it's it varies. So whatever you pardon the term, float your boat. Because I know we're talking about cruises, so forgive the term there. But whichever you prefer, there'll be many options for you as far as Showtime is concerned. Now, if you're not big on the actual Showtime itself, there are many other options on the Carnival ship for entertainment. Every day after night, the piano bar 6 nights a week. Because the piano bar player does get a night off on the cruise. They have the so it's 6 nights a week. They have stand-up comedy almost every night on the cruise. Maybe about 5 or 6 nights out of the cruise, they have the stand-up comedy on board, which is really good. It's like being an actual comedy club the way it's all set up. So and they do have adult-only shows on board. Where so they have the family show, and then they have the R-rated adults-only show. So keep that in mind if you're cruising with little ones. There will be stand-up comedy for them, but there is the family show, and then there's the adults 18 and over show, and it does get pretty naughty in there, for lack of a better term. Also, they have different musical performances on board. They have duets, they have uh, bands, they have they have string performances, they have individual performances, but they have a lot of musical options on board. So it really, the entertainment on Carnival is phenomenal. So keep that in mind. There are plenty of entertainment options on board. There are plenty of bars on board. All the Carnival ships, they have the casinos. You can sometimes find this entertainment in the casino. Sometimes you'll find it in the atrium. Sometimes you'll find it in one of the hubs or lounges. So all over the ship, you will find an entertainment that you will like on the Carnival cruise, as well as several nights a week they do have karaoke if you like to partake in that, which I like too. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna say about what you need to know about Carnival is it will look expensive when you look at pre-booking online, but I recommend getting the Cheers package, which is their drink package. Now, this includes all non-alcoholic drinks on board, and when I mean on all non, excuse me, non all non-alcoholic drinks on board, it includes the specialty coffees, as in cappuccino, espresso. You get bottles of water, and I mean like actual bottles of water, not like the little mini ones. I mean your standard 16-ounce bottles of water that you would take with you to the gym or just walk around with when you get off the ship. Uh, you get it includes Gatorade bottles, same thing, same standard size Gatorade bottles, juices, sodas, and the main thing is when it comes to the alcohol, you get 15 alcoholic beverages a day every 24 hours. It resets every day at 6 a.m. So from 6 a.m., for example, 6 a.m. on Monday to 6 a.m. on Tuesday, you get 15 alcoholic beverages a day, and then unlimited non-alcoholic beverages. So keep that in mind. Now, it is hard to max out the 15 alcoholic beverages a day. I have not done it yet myself. I've gone to maybe 11, maybe 12, but I have known people who have maxed it out before. So it is hard to do, but I have seen it done. So keep that in mind when you do book it. When you do book it, um, I recommend pre-booking it because it will be $50 less if when you pre-book it than you would book it online on board the cruise the first day of the cruise itself. So if this is something you're interested in, I recommend to pre-book it as well. But it you get very good value what it might for your money on it. It might seem like a lot of money, but trust me, it's worth it because it goes a long way, and especially on the sea days, you're gonna want that package because let's face it, there's not if you want to have some fun, if you want to have a few drinks, especially on a sea day, it's not going to hurt your folio because it's already paid for. Okay, another thing, this is one of the better things on board is the mega deck party, which is uh, I believe it's usually the fourth or fifth night of the cruise. It's not the sixth or last night of the cruise. If on a 7 day cruise, it's the usually the fourth or fifth night of the cruise, and it's on the pool deck. It's on Lido deck. It's by the main pool. Now, this is the only main deck party there is on board, other than the sail away party the day of the embarkation, the day you set sail, which is right after you set sail, obviously the sail away party. But this is the only other deck party Carnival has. All other parties they will have on board will either be in the atrium or the disco, or sometime, well, no, not the casino, but one of the lounges or the disco or the atrium. So this is why it's such a popular party because it is the only nighttime deck party there is under the stars. After almost the entire ship goes. That night they kind of scale down the entertainment on board the ship because it is the night of the biggest party on board the ship. So keep that in mind. While some other cruise directors do their own party at night in the atriums, like 80s party, 90s party, a white party, or if it's a special time of year like St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, they'll have all these parties usually in the atrium, but or in the disco. But the mega deck party is the only nighttime deck party there is on board the cruise, unless also if you're sailing on New Year's, because they do have the New Year's party out by the pool that night. But keep in mind, the mega deck party is a lot of fun. They have different types of music. There's a lot of dancing. It's just a whole lot of fun. So I would recommend at the very least checking out the party. The parties are not for everyone, but I definitely recommend a party. I always have a good time when I'm there. Okay, one another thing you need to know about Carnival is another tip for your first time on Carnival: don't waste your money on spa treatments. I've done it before. I don't recommend it. You can pretty much get the same treatment, whether it's a massage, facial, body treatment, something done in the salon, at your day spa home, at your salon at home. And to be honest, it's going to be a lot less money. It's going to be a lot less money than you would pay on board the ship for certain treatments. So keep that in mind. If you want a spa treatment, they are nice, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not really worth the money. And to be honest, I have a membership at Massage Envy here in Long Island, and and the massages on board the Carnival ships are really not as therapeutic as they are as you would go to a Massage Envy or other days spa. They're more about relaxation, and they're not the best. As far as I'm concerned, they're not the best massages there are. It's not that the best type of pressure and anything, but that's just in my opinion. Another thing about the Spa Carnival is at the end of your treatment, the therapist is always trying to sell you an item from the spa store. They're always trying to hawk some type of item, trying to get you to buy something, and these items are usually very expensive. So I'm just saying I would stay away from the spa if you don't really have to go there. If you really don't need a spa treatment, I mean, you can get one. For myself, I don't, I, as I said, I don't really need to do it anymore. I've done it before. I don't think it's the best, but as I said, it's up to you, whatever you like. I'm just warning you that I don't think it's worth the money, and also at the end of your treatment, which is supposed to be very relaxing, they are going to irritate you a little bit by trying to get you to buy things that you really don't need. So keep that in mind. The last thing you need to know about Carnival is on certain ships, the aft pool in the back of the ship has a gliding dome on it. So for inclement weather, if they're expecting rain or it starts to rain or it's very hazy out and the sun's not out, they will close the dome so you can still enjoy the pool that day when the weather isn't that great. You can still have a pool day when you're at sea. And also, if you're in port and it starts to rain or whatever, they'll close the dome and you still have a pool you can go to. There's also always a bar at the aft pool, so you don't have to worry about that. it's raining about, well, what about the pool bar? There's always one at the aft pool. Now, on certain ships where they do have the aft pool with the gliding dome, that pool is adults only. So keep that in mind. If that pool is adults only, if you're looking for adults only area on the ship. Now, on certain ships, the aft pool is for families as well. So kids are allowed, adults, it's for everyone. So on those ships, I would recommend going to the Serenity area on board, which is adults only. I believe is 21 and over. I could be wrong on that. It might be 18 and over. But the Serenity area on board the ships, those are adults only area. They're on every ship. Most of the ships have hot tubs. They have their own private bar. They have the sun loungers. So it's a very relaxing area. So if your ship does not have the aft pool with the adults only area, you can always go up to the Serenity area. And if you're on a ship that does have the aft adults only pool, then there are two adult only areas on that ship because all the ships have this Serenity area on board. So keep that in mind that some ships have one adults only area and some have two adults only areas. So, in conclusion, when you do go on Carnival, these are the things you can expect for your first time cruising on Carnival. While they might be different from other cruise lines, how they do the drink package difference, how they might do their parties different, how they do the dinner seating's different from the time the check-in appointments, and how all of the things they do differently compared to some other cruise line you might have sailed on before. Thank you very much. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and share it as much as you'd like. Thank you everyone. Have a great night and I'll be back very soon.